making some pals, and there's also therapy too.
And it was, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's because I haven't been like sick in a while or what, but it was really painful. And like
painful?
Yeah, like my head felt like it was going to explode. Like the sinus pressure was just like all in here, and then my teeth started hurting. Do you have that a lot? No, I mean I used to, but no, I haven't gotten it in a really long time.
Jeez,
and
that's the worst.
It came after Maddie's wedding.
I want to hear all about that too.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
And Vegas. I don't think I heard about Vegas.
Vegas was a long time ago. You mean Buffalo?
No, I heard. Yeah, what else was there? You were somewhere else.
I was in Buffalo and Niagara.
Oh, Niagara.
And
maybe
then,
that's it.
Yeah, Maddie's wedding. But no, I got sick after that, and then she said that a couple people also got sick from that wedding too. But I tested and it wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
So I think it was a mixture of things. First, probably like all the travel, and plus like my body did not get along with Phoenix's climate. I kept getting migraines because I was like so dehydrated. It's really dry up there.
Oh yeah.
But like I was doing all the right things, but it's still, I don't know, it's just so dry.
Yeah.
And then what else? Oh, and then after, you know how that people say that like after you finish what you need to do, like your body like catches up to like the rest and stuff. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I had to do this year, as far as like stress wise goes.
Yeah.
You know, so. Anyway.
Oh, that stinks.
But anyways.
I'm glad you feel better.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. We're good?
We're good.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So this is Media Blitz, Season 3, Episode 5. We are here. Sean, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
We had a couple of recap moments, but I'm going to save that for next episode because a lot of the recap moments were recordings from other people that they haven't sent in yet. So we're just going to
You guys have been having a lot of guests on.
I mean, well, like... yeah, a lot of like voice memos from people. So that's been helpful. But I feel like we haven't really done it. Last week was the first week that like we came back after Maddie's wedding and stuff. So
that's right.
With Brooklyn, which was so fun and great. So anyways, yeah, Maddie sent in her summary. She can't join us today, but hopefully she will come back, I think, next week. But either way, she's been doing great sending in summaries and notes and all that stuff. So I'll play that in a moment.
Is she on a honeymoon or did they do that?
No, but they're going to do that next month. No, it's October now. Oh my God. Yeah, so it is this month. It's in a couple weeks. I think they're going to Ireland.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're really excited about that.
How fun.
So maybe it won't be next week that she can come. Or I don't know. But it'll be by the end of the year, hopefully, that she can join us again. But yeah, and like we've been talking about work stuff and all that mess. But we're going to keep trucking along, and she's still here in spirit.
Perfect.
Okay, so Media Blitz, again, Season 3, Episode 5. This was written by Harris Whittles. We love him. Harris Whittles, Pour One Out, is the one that died. He's half of Animal Control. He is...
Oh, he died?
Yeah! He died a long time ago.
Oh, really?
From an overdose.
Oh.
It was really sad, and we pour one out every single time. Even when he's a story editor, I see it on IMDb, and I make a note of it because he was such a backbone of the show.
Yeah. Oh,
he also invented, fun fact for those of people just joining us that haven't, been here for a Harris Whittles episode, he also invented the word humble brag.
Really?
Yeah, he put it on Twitter, and it went viral, and everyone started using it. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, pour one out.
Yes, he's amazing. And this was directed by David Rogers, he's a director and a producer and an Emmy Award-winning editor. That's his main thing. So him and Claire Scanlon, another great editor at The Office, won for Best Single Cam Editing for The Office finale and for the episode The Job with Dean Holland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Crazy. So he was nominated a bunch of other times as well, but he's a fan favorite of this crew and this team because he directed 9 episodes of The Office, 11 episodes of The Mindy Project, and 1 episode of Space Force.
No way, our favorite show.
Somehow we bring it up every time.
Did you ever get into the Mindy Project?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever finished it. I remember really liking it, though, the first couple
It's a great
seasons.
show. It's a great cast. I love it. But I haven't... it's not one of those ones that I watch The Office or Parks, though, which I think I should, but...
Yeah, it kind of seems like it would be one of those.
Yeah, and Fortune Feimster is in it, too.
Oh, my God. I love
good.
her. Gosh, she is
Ike
a treasure.
Barinholtz.
She needs her own show, like a sitcom.
I know.
Does she have one?
That's a great question.
She is so funny.
Yeah, she has a lot of specials, though.
She does.
Specials,
yeah,
so.
she is. I'd love to see her live.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think I just saw that she was coming to either Zanies or to Ryman or something. If she is, we should go.
Fortune Feimster.
Maybe it already happened.
Well, is she on tour? Oh, yeah. Find Fortune Feimster. Okay. Delaware, New Jersey. I don't see
Maybe it already
New
happened.
York. Yeah, maybe it already happened.
Well, Fortune, if you're listening. which
Yeah,
you
come
should
on
be,
down.
then you should come.
I still haven't been to Zanies. I really need to go. So many people speak
my
so
God.
highly
It was
of
so
it.
fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, okay. We'll go.
We'll find somebody that's cool, and then we'll go.
I mean, I've heard even the amateur nights are nice, though.
I know. We went randomly one night. We didn't know the guy, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get up there. You'll get up there, too.
I think stand-up comedy of all the arts is one
It's
that
so
I
brave.
don't. It is so brave.
And scary.
And because it's one of those things where music, acting, art, I mean, there's a level of preparation, and then the unknown is kind of taken out. I mean, yes, like things can go wrong,
Yeah.
but like you can practice a set a million
Yeah.
times. Stand up, you can be amazing, and it could kill one night, and then it could destroy or flop or bomb. That's what they call it.
Right.
Bomb the other night, just because depending on the crowd, like.
Well,
and
that's the thing. It's the
it's
only art that
so-
requires the audience.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
You have to have the
Yeah.
audience. Otherwise, you're just like
It is
shooting the shit without. Yeah.
It is so.
So, Fortune, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please come on. But yeah, he was also a producer, David Rogers, the director of this episode. He was a producer on all those shows. Plus, he was a consulting producer on Upload, that Greg Daniels Amazon show, which Creed was also in for a brief second.
Oh, really?
Like,
I don't know if I ever.
You did watch it. We
Yeah.
talked about
I don't
this,
know if I
feel.
got that far.
Yeah, you did.
I
The
did.
Creed part, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I remember not finishing that show.
I think they actually have another season that I need to check out. But anyway, yeah. So basically, he works with Greg Daniels and Mike Schur quite a bit. And this is his only time directing Parks, which I wonder why. Because,
It's a good episode.
yeah, it's a great episode. But he's a big editor in The Office and Mindy Project as well. And then he also edited the movie Late Night. Do you remember that movie? I didn't watch it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
It's the one
with
Mindy
Mindy
Kaling
Kaling
and Emma
and
Thompson,
Emma Thompson.
a.k.a. Professor Trelawney.
Yeah. That's a good movie. It's
I
funny.
know. So I thought it was really interesting, but I'd love to talk to him about editing. So I did message him, and
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Message quite a bit of people.
Come on, bro.
Come on, brah. Okay, so now we are going to listen to the summary/notes from Maddie.
Hi friends, I am so sorry that I'm not able to be there again today for Park Pals, but please know that I'm always there in Park Pals spirit. I am here with this summary for Media Blitz. It's time the world knows about Harvest Festival. Tom, Leslie, and Ben head out to multiple news networks to promote Harvest Festival, but things get complicated when Ben's past as a failed mayor is out of the bag and Ben is less than prepared. Meanwhile, Chris plans to go back to Indianapolis and wants to take April with him, but maybe not Anne. Andy tries to get April to stay in Pawnee by doing all of the errands and jobs she doesn't want to do. Please enjoy reviewing this episode. I really like this episode. It's so fun to see usually the very put together Ben flailing with his words and confused, and it's just, I think it's a different side of Ben that we get to see, which I think is really cool. I also love the scene with Perd and Ben that they show at the end. I think it's more towards the end when Tom is showing them the recording of Ben doing the interview with Perd. And absolutely, like, I think we talked to Perd about that. So I'm sure Holly will give good updates around that. And so I really like this episode. And then the very awkwardness of Andy, April's sister, trying to frame Andy for trying to kidnap her. It's just a great episode, and I hope you guys have fun reviewing it, and I will be back very soon.
Yay! Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you, Maddie.
Maddie's at work doing a workshop, so that might be why she was like a little bit quiet at first, but I also didn't realize she was like sick
I know.
still.
She sounds like something's up.
Yeah. Well, I know Ivan's really sick, but I thought Maddie had gotten over it because she didn't sound as sick last time, so I'll be checking in with her, but I hope you feel better. But yeah, oh my God, this episode when Ben goes crazy is really hilarious. It's so good.
Yeah, this is like the first episode where the reins come off of Ben, and you're like, God, it speaks so much of how good of an actor he was. I was watching a little bit of Severance. Have you seen that?
No, but I need to. Everyone says it's amazing. I need to get Apple TV.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know whose we use because we don't have it. Anyhow, but he's just like, even just like from Step Brothers, like his comedy and his comedy, that he's just such a good actor.
Yeah, it's incredible. He has so many different sides, I feel. But okay, so this is, I feel like, I don't know, maybe this isn't as famous as I think it is, but when I saw this cold open, I was like, oh my God, it's this one! Because it starts with the clacking sound, and everyone's looking annoyed. Yeah, and we learned that Ron now has a typewriter, and he found it in a dumpster. I like that he says electronicbay.com.
Electronicbay.com. Gosh, that's such a good, yeah.
It's so good. So this is an Underwood 5 with original carriage return is what it's actually called. I'm going to read you a deep dive.
That's like a nice typewriter.
It's a very nice typewriter. Okay, so the Underwood Model 5, introduced in 1899, is a result of almost 30 years of innovation and improvements in typewriter manufacture. It became the ubiquitous office machine for another 30 years, and its sales led Underwood to dominate the market. The Model 5 became the modern standard of how a typewriter worked and what it looked like. So this was like the OG. You know what I mean? This was like the original Apple, but for underwriter/typewriters.
That's crazy. And somebody just threw it away in a dumpster.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
We should go dumpster diving more often.
Wonder what we could find.
I mean...
It seems wild to me that someone would throw that away and not like donate it or... Yeah. I don't know.
Or sell
Maybe
it.
they were just over it.
Yeah.
Maybe they became crazy.
I'd like to get a typewriter. That seems fun.
Yeah. It actually is fun. We use it at work sometimes because
it's really?
Like, yeah, we have to use it to type in like dates and whatever, which is stupid because like you could definitely do Adobe for that nowadays.
Yeah.
And we still have to buy like typewriter ribbon. It's really dumb.
Oh wow.
But like I think typewriters are kind of like record players. Like they're sold at like Urban Outfitters and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're
making
like really
comeback.
vintagey and whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But anyways,
so when you make a mistake, do you just have whiteout that you? Or...
Yeah, well, it depends on the typewriter, but typewriters do have a backspace button, and it uses whiteout. It's called like corrective tape.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
fun.
some don't do that, and then you have to start all over, or white out and then start over.
I kind of like that though. You better get it right.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great cold open.
I like all the words that he uses.
His inflection on butthole. It's like he's
America.
Like, yeah. It's rectangle.
I don't know. I didn't write them down. I just remember rectangle, America, and butthole. The trifecta.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so Ben says that the awareness for the Harvest Festival is still pretty low. 35% of people know about it. So the interviews they're about to do. What?
34.9%.
Oh, okay.
34.9%. Well, it's an exact number.
It's an exact number. I'm so sorry. She says she hopes Oprah will call her, which is hilarious. That would be amazing. Okay, then this is our first introduction of Crazy Ira and the Douche.
I know.
93.7 FM. Crazy.
I know.
They're
so funny.
I did read that Mike Schur really liked Nick Kroll, and so they were trying to figure out a way to work him into the show. Okay. And so that's kind of like how this came to be. But it's really interesting because she seems to like them at this point. And
I know.
I don't think that she's had enough experience with them.
Has she listened to them? Like,
I think she's listened to them, but she's never been interviewed by them. Yeah. And that must be the difference.
Well, even when she's first sitting there being interviewed, she's just like,
yeah, so
oh my God, this is so funny. Which you just wouldn't think that Leslie would find that funny, and then Ben's just in the background like, what the fuck? This? Like,
you would think Tom definitely would think it's funny, and he does. Yeah. But then Leslie kind of catches on, and she's like, "This is stupid. You guys are dumb. I hate you."
Yeah.
But Ben's reaction to them is hilarious. I also love this line of "so much better than Tubby Tony and the papaya." I tried. It's like because I don't know how they come up with these names. I tried to look up like the most famous ones. I remember Casey Kasem. That's obviously famous, but like I don't remember any like like names like this, but I know that was a thing. But anyway, so now we're in Chris's office, and this is the weird stretching moment when Anne is on his back, and she's like, "Is this right?" And there's like a really funny blooper when April comes in and can't keep a straight face because she's like, "I'm so sorry, I cannot look at this."
This is also his opening credit scene.
Oh yeah.
When he's in his shirt. Yeah.
Do they have internet? And he points. Yes, that's so true.
Yeah, I know. They're all... Yeah, you can see... Has the moment when Anne's like like she becomes all of her boyfriends. That hasn't happened yet.
No, well,
But
she
this
hasn't
is-
like said it out loud, but
Yeah.
we're
It's
starting to
after they
see.
break up. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's like she's just so like become Chris.
Yes, last episode was the first episode we saw where she definitely takes on his personality because they were
Yeah.
at the restaurant and she's like, I would like white wine, I would like it to be cold, and I would like it with 1 ice cube.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny.
I know. And I guess this is a good, I don't know, like I mean, how do you know about this stretch unless you do it with like a significant other?
I know. Oh, what does he say to her? Because she's like, I think it's working. He's like, well, your abs are not something enough.
I don't know.
It's a very weird. And
But
I'm
it
like,
definitely is supposed to stretch your core. I guess I
know.
could see that.
We should try it.
You and Sierra should.
I call top.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious. All right, so now Chris is explaining what the job would entail for April to move to Indianapolis, where he does his little yes thing. And it sounds like an executive assistant situation. And she said she has nothing keeping her here, and then she does it. Wouldn't it be weird? I was just imagining, like, wouldn't it be wild if she actually did go to Indianapolis, like, and that's where
I
the
know.
show took us?
Yeah. Whole different thing.
Yeah.
Or she just left. Like that'd be a different show.
Totally. And I also really love Anne's reaction in the background. The camera catches her and like zooms in. I think it's really hilarious. And then
know.
Andy has this
I
idea
feel bad
that
for it. Yeah.
I know. It's like really well. I talked about this in the last episode where I like didn't understand quite why everybody wanted to move in so quickly with each other. Like, and then I talked about how they weren't sure if Rob Lowe was going to be able to stay for the remainder of the season, so they had to like rush
I see. Yeah.
the relationship a little bit. And then also this was where the last episode was like, why is everybody wanting to move in with each other? Because Wendy also asked Ron to move to Canada, and obviously that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's makes more sense, I guess, for Anne.
Things do happen fast though in this show. I mean, like,
Yeah,
in a couple episodes is the wedding. Like,
it's kind of gnarly.
yeah, it's like a couple episodes down the line.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. It is really sad. Like, I can't imagine if like, but I guess it's different. I was gonna say, I can't imagine if like you wanted to move with someone and then they asked someone like on a professional level. I guess that would maybe like stifle the blow a little bit because he's not really thinking about it personal level. He's just thinking about.
Yeah. Or at least just don't do it in front of Anne. I mean, like, yeah, he should
He's
have
not
the
thinking about it.
conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, Anne.
He's
feels
obviously
sad.
he's not. Well, it's funny because he's kind of a straightforward guy, but then he doesn't have great communication skills because like
on a personal level. I
Yeah.
feel. You know what I mean?
because like when they even spoiler alert, but you know it. But when they break up, it's like when she doesn't
Yeah.
even know that they broke up. It's like,
Right.
dude,
Hello.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh, even I guess you're right. Even on a communication level for the professional, people don't know what he's saying there
Yeah.
either. Yeah, that's
he
a great
literally
point.
only does one side of it. He
He needs
he
to
does.
work on his communication
Yeah.
skills
Come on,
and
Chris.
straightforwardness. Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, so to get April to stay, Andy has agreed to do all of her least favorite things for a month. This
my
is like
gosh.
so sad and painful. I feel to watch like all the stuff.
I know, but I love those certain
Stuff
those
that he
scenes.
does.
I love the bird scene. I love that guy, whoever that guy is.
Who?
You know when he's like doing the permits thing, and the guy, I think it's my
Oh
favorite
my God! Yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yes. He can fly.
He can fly.
That guy is so good.
It's such an underrated little line.
Oh my
like-
God. It's perfect. And he nails it. The delivery of that. Oh my God. So good. All right. Well, before we get to that, though, we're at the radio station, and I have a little bit of a character breakdown on who these people are. So, Crazy Ira is played by Matt Besser, who has been in a ton of stuff, but he's an original member / founder of UCB, the Upright Citizens Brigade,
very
aka Amy Poehler's shindig. So far, we've just had Ian Roberts, who is an original member, and he was the one that coaches the girls' team. And they're like fighting over the soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
He also was in the pilot episode complaining about people cursing in the park. And so he's been in the show a couple times.
Yeah.
So now we have Matt Besser. And fun fact, I said this like way back when we first started this, but every single member of the original UCB has been on Parks.
That's so cool.
And I said I wasn't going to tell you who until we get there. And now we're at Matt Besser.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive they had a pretty serious relationship from what I remember reading in Yes Please, Amy Poehler's book.
Oh, really?
I think that was them. It was either Besser or Walsh, one of the two that she had a relationship with. Doesn't matter, but I thought that was interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. But anyway, he's been in a lot of things. Like I said, he was in Modern Family, the movie Year One, Bad Teacher, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Reno 911, a ton of UCB stuff, obviously. And of course, now we're seeing him in Parks. And then we've got the Douche, which is our guy, Nick Kroll. Again, we've seen him 800,000 things. He now has a new special out, a new Netflix special out,
really?
Stand Up.
Is it good?
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list. He was in Oh Hello on Broadway, which was also on Netflix with John Mulaney, which, we're huge fans of John Mulaney on this show. The League. Did you ever watch The League?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was
good.
in that. He created and stars in Big Mouth, which has a new season coming out. So good. Excellent cartoon. He was also in the new movie Don't Worry, Darling with
really?
Harry Styles.
Did you see it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but he was involved in that drama of Harry Styles kissing him at the Venice Film Festival.
Wait, really?
It wasn't like a romantical kiss. It was just like a funny kiss.
That movie and all the stuff that's gone around that movie is fascinating.
So much
I
drama.
wonder if it's helped it, hurt it. I
don't know. I feel like it's hurt it, honestly.
Because I hear no one talking about the movie. You just hear about the drama.
Exactly. And the trailer looked so good.
I know.
I was really excited about
I wonder
it.
if it'll be good.
I don't know. Maybe I should watch it. I haven't watched it yet. It's awful. But
well, you know what? Yeah. I bet it has hurt it because me and Sierra were like, we definitely want to see that movie. When it...
And now it's died.
And now it's maybe we'll just wait till it comes out.
Yeah. Busy Phillips said on her podcast too, she was like, in my experience, if people are talking about the drama before the movie, no one's going to watch it.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Shia LaBeouf thing? That Harry Styles was not supposed to be in the movie? It was supposed to be just Shia LaBeouf?
And then she came out and said that
Olivia Wilde was like, he was really hard to work with, and so we're not going to tolerate that on the set. And then she hired Harry Styles and started dating him.
But then he released a video.
Who did?
Shia LaBeouf released a video of her saying no, we really want you. We don't want the other main actress. She's hard to work with.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And then so they released that. And then then the girl came out saying there's that, apparently there's a really.
What girl, Flo?
Yeah.
Florence
There's
Pugh?
She felt there's a really sexual scene that Olivia Wilde was really pushing her to do something, and she felt super uncomfortable, and apparently that's why she said that she was being hard to work with. So she was
oh my
it seems
God.
it's
very
just not,
convoluted.
so she's not involved with any of the promotion, or was involved with any of the promotion, and yeah, it just seems man, crazy.
That sucks.
I know. So
it sucked because it seemed like such a cool idea for a movie, and the trailer looked so good. But we'll see. I mean, I'll probably like you said, we'll probably watch it when it comes out.
But Avatar 2.
Cannot wait! So excited!
We should have a whole episode. We'll have a 2-part on Avatar.
Rewatch party!
Yeah.
Party and podcast. Because now Avatar 1, for the listener that doesn't know, you can go to the theaters and see it in preparation for Avatar 2.
I would love to go see it in IMAX. That'd be so cool.
Well, can we?
We should.
When? Maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
Or next week. I don't know.
Okay. We'll make a day. We'll do it.
Well, did it say that it's in IMAX?
Yeah, it is at Regal.
Okay.
In
Opry.
Opry.
Okay. All right. Anyone in Nashville is welcome to join.
Well. No, yeah.
Well.
Buy your
that
own
was
tickets.
Very Leslie of you. Well. Okay.
So where are we?
Side note, what?
So where are we?
Okay, so we're talking about Nick Kroll.
That's right.
And also side note, again, this doesn't matter, but I just think it's interesting that apparently Amy Poehler also dated Nick Kroll at one point after Will Arnett and her broke up.
Okay.
So she's dated both these fellas. Good for her, honestly.
Seems like a nice lady.
Yeah. Okay, so Mike Schur, like I said that the Douche was kind of invented because everybody really liked Nick Kroll and they wanted to find him some way to work him into the show. I also really like this line that for a couple things. First of all, I like how she addresses him as the Douche. She's like, "Well, the Douche." Let me tell you,
Such a Leslie note.
where fun meets awesome meets agriculture. That's my most favorite thing. It's so cute. Oh, side note, before I forget, I'm trying to incorporate this not instead of, but in addition to favorite line, we're also doing a VIPP, which is a very important park pal. And so basically, whoever you think wins this episode.
Oh, wins the episode.
Or maybe has the best you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Best person in the episode, if you will. I don't know who it is yet. I usually don't decide until, this is the only second time I've done it, but I don't decide until the end. So.
Okay.
Anyway, so just keep that in mind.
Side note on this scene, back to the people in it. the sound effects dude.
Yes.
China Joe. Is he a writer?
He's a stand-up comedian.
Okay, but he's
he
not a
also-
writer on the show?
Oh, on this show?
Yeah.
Not that I saw.
No, okay.
Not that I
His
saw.
name evolves, doesn't it?
Are you talking about Alan Yang? Maybe?
No.
Oh.
No. I know who Alan Yang, but this guy,
His name changes?
it changes to like Jewish Greg later
What?
in the show.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I'm like 90% sure. Look that up. Which I think is such a funny
Joe's
joke.
name change on Parks and Rec. I don't remember anything else. But I do think it's funny that he wasn't
Yeah.
he's not Chinese. He's Vietnamese.
Oh no, it changes to a person named Jewish Greg. I don't know when because
so he's only in a couple episodes.
yeah,
and
do
then
you
they
remember
change
this
it.
guy?
Let me see.
The world's smallest picture. It's not loading. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He does look familiar. Interesting.
It's the Jewish Jewish Joe and China
Okay.
Greg or whatever.
Interesting.
So yeah, he changes.
Okay, I did message him too. You guys should follow him on Instagram too because he's great. But China Joe is played by Danny Cho. This role is so perfect as far as like how deadpan and unfeeling
I
he
know.
is. He's just there to press the buttons.
And so quick. Like that's a
so
skill.
quick.
Like
Because he had to. A lot of those they haven't, or not a lot, but it seemed like some of them he made up on the spot.
I know, yeah.
So
And some of them are definitely like their favorites. Like
Yeah.
you can tell they're just like
play it again. But yeah, he's a stand-up, and he was in Mad TV. He also wrote and starred in a show called K-Town Cowboys, and I just
missed
thought
that
that was
one.
really interesting. I have never heard of it. He has his own podcast too, but I found him on Instagram, and it looks like he's available to book in Seoul, like he's in Seoul, Korea.
Cool.
So if you want him to come to your next like show or be in your next show, you can pay him and sign up for that. So that's exciting. His podcast is called Nunchi Podcast. So just thought that I should shout that out. You can follow him on Instagram. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of sad and almost like it works that he's not from China, like
Yeah.
in real life, because they just don't give a shit, I feel. And
Yeah.
it's just like showing how dumb they are.
Yeah.
Not how,
And well, it's like what you would expect for that type of
Yes.
shock jock.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit like type organization.
Just fucking around kind of thing.
Yeah.
China Joe, you are a poet.
You are a poet.
Oh my God, it's so
You always
bad.
wonder, like, those people. Do you think that they're like that off the air? Like, they go home and they're just like that dumb and
I don't
vile?
know. Do you remember hearing Mark Maron say that like he did that and when he was like on the radio show,
Yes,
he would
yeah.
like pretend to be different characters
That's
and like
true.
he had other people come
Yeah.
in and pretend to be different characters. And that's like I feel like that's folklore in radio where like there's one dude doing like
All
8
of
different
them,
characters
yeah.
and you think that it's like, 5 different people in there, but it's
Yeah.
not.
It's so
So
fun. What a fun job that would be.
but
You
it's
had that
and like you
skill
kind
set.
of see in the next scene, and we'll get there. But like one of the other scenes when the douche is asking Ben like how living in Pawnee
Yeah.
is. He
Yeah.
seems
He's
like
like
a
so
normal
normal.
dude.
Okay, man. Good job.
Good talk. All right, so now Andy is doing everything that April hates, and this is okay. So one of the things is working the park's permits desk, and there's a dude that says my bird is missing.
Let's replay this scene. So I'm Andy.
Oh,
Okay,
so
man.
funny.
Let me get a form.
Can't do it.
It
There
says
ain't no time.
He can fly. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. This guy's name is Jarris Poindexter. He was in a lot of stuff. Everybody Hates Chris, Aquila and the Bee, American Crime Story, New Girl, The Mindy Project, like a lot of stuff. He's so good.
Oh, wow.
But side note, I didn't know that this little desk thing was called the permits desk. I thought
Me
it was just like a
neither.
little customer service desk
Yeah.
moment. I wonder, but like also,
So
what
he
is
needs a permit to put a sign up?
that what it is?
I
That's
think
what I'm
so.
curious about because that like I feel like so many people come to that desk,
Yeah.
but I don't know the specifics.
Maybe
of
it's like a time frame. Like they work the permits desk from 10 to 11, and that's when people come get permits from
Yeah.
them. I don't know.
that could be. The
That
only
poor bird. I wonder if you ever found it. You know, there's a callback to a bird thing in
Where?
the Perd Happily thing when he's like, "Is there a
oh
bird
my
in here?"
God, maybe it was that bird.
Yeah, I was wondering if like was that intentional or
I don't know, but I love that is a connection.
Yeah.
Good job. Proud of you. Okay. So, There is I was going to say, there is a deleted scene that actually, it's the only one I feel out of all three of these people that actually points to this being a permits desk, because someone wants a fishing permit, and I have to play it because I think it's really funny. And then I'll tell you a little bit about who this person is.
This is a hunting license. I asked for a fishing license.
Oh, crap, I already ran your card. Can you shoot the fish?
Do you have a manager?
Well, sort of. Our drummer is our manager, but Burley wants to fire him. I mean, from being our manager, keep him as the drummer. I don't know. It's tricky because he is the band.
Who are you?
Burt Macklin, FBI.
Oh my God,
that
is
was golden.
so funny.
Why did they cut it? It was the most important one.
Oh, that's like, yeah. I'm surprised they cut that. That was so funny.
I guess the kid hitting him is funny too, but like,
I would have cut the kid hitting. That is way better.
This one accomplishes everything you need.
It talks about exactly who Andy is.
Exactly, and exactly what the permits desk is. Can you shoot the fish?
We do, but we need to fire him. Oh my gosh, I love Andy so much.
I know. I thought that was so crazy. So
you're simple, but you're fine.
Oh, yes. This lady is played by Leslie Taylor, which I think it's funny that her name is Leslie. I haven't seen her in other stuff that I've noticed, but apparently there's nothing on her IMDb since 2014. But she did great. I thought it was freaking hilarious and really led Andy into being really hilarious and funny. But she messaged back and she'll be sending us some voice memos, so I'll play that on another time. But yeah, and so then the next person, which is the mom with this kid that keeps hitting him that doesn't care, I'll explain who she is, and then I'll play some clips that she sent, because she sent in some voice memos about her time on the show. So this gal's name is Rachel Drummond. She's been in a ton of stuff. She's a sketch actor on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which is another one of one of the officers. I can't remember his name, but he's also a sketch person on Jimmy Kimmel. So I wonder if it's some sort of combination, or if they're just really good at improv and that's why they were cast. But regardless, that was one thing. And then 911, which is that show. Isn't Robert Lowe in that show? Or is that a different?
Yeah, he's in one of them. I think there's
multiple.
911 Miami and 911 Los Angeles.
Right. Okay.
But, yeah.
She was also in Shameless and Bombshell. I really love her bio on Instagram. It says, "Not a Karen, but I play one on TV." I really love that. I think it's really funny.
That's cool.
Okay, so let me play a couple, or one of her voice recordings that she sent. And she said, it was really funny. She said that she didn't really remember a ton of stuff, but I thought what she sent was cute, so I'm going to play it anyways.
Hi, Holly. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I love your podcast. I love that you guys are doing this. And I wish that I was more help, but my memory of the specifics is not that great. It was almost 12 years ago. Actually, it was 12 years ago. I was pregnant with my son, and there was a whole discussion during the fitting of whether we should show the belly or not show the belly. They ended up deciding we should show the belly, but you can't really see it that well. I mean, I know it's there. I look pregnant to me in the scene. And so it was fun to have a little practice run of, being the mom of the kid who's being totally inappropriate. Little did I know what great preparation that would be. My audition was fun and warm and easy. Dorian and Marlies were just fantastic, and they love actors, and, they laugh easily and play around, give adjustments. It wasn't my first TV credit, but it was one of the first. And so I was just thrilled to be at the audition. And then I was so thrilled to be on set. And so I was one of those people just grinning from ear to ear, just being there. And everyone was lovely. You're probably just hearing that over and over again. Chris Pratt kind of leaned across the desk on his elbows and chatted, very warmly between takes. Played around, was goofy with the kid, and was asking me questions about myself. Just totally lovely. And Nick Offerman was sweet and shy, and which surprised me. And also, chatted a bit between takes. Everyone was just really, it's funny to have, it's a workplace comedy, but it also is their workplace, the actors are there on set and they have their workplace relationships. And My little glimpse into it was super fun. I wish that I remembered more specifics or had a fun story. But it was just great. And I love the show and I love the scene. And it's a split second of TV time, but it kind of like ups my coolness factor with my kids because now Chris Pratt is Chris Pratt. So it's like, oh, wow, Chris Pratt and mommy in the same scene. So, that's really something. Worth more than the residuals. All right. Thanks so much for having me. And let me know if you want to hear anything else. I'll try to remember specifics.
Yay!
That's awesome. It's cool to hear something like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. There was a lot of pregnant people on this show. A lot of pregnant people.
Yeah. People get pregnant.
People get pregnant. Amy Poehler was pregnant at this time, too.
Oh, that's right.
So, But, so I thought it was funny that she didn't really mention anything about the kid, but except for that it would prepare her for having a kid.
Yeah. I wonder if he was good to work with.
I know. I can't believe that he, like, turns around and then this guy, like, hits, or this little kid hits Andy in the pants.
In the nuggets.
In the nuggets. Oh, my God. Crazy.
You can cut this if you want, but back to that 911 show.
Yeah, tell me.
Do you remember the roller coaster scene?
No, but you bring it up
I have
every
it pulled up. Well, if you don't cut this, you should post this for the listeners.
I'm not going to cut it.
But it's on YouTube.
Wait, can you explain it before you play it, or should you?
So 911 is like, it's just like a show where like people get into trouble, and then like the firefighters come. And
Sean brings this up every single time.
The worst CGI. Oh, why isn't it loading? It's like the worst CGI that like. It's so funny, and it's a kid flying out of a roller coaster, like everybody's worst nightmare. But if you just Google 911 roller coaster scene,
do you want me to look it up? Is
oh,
it
here it
working
is.
On yours?
Okay. Oh wait, this is after it. Just wait. Did you see it, Elizabeth?
Yes, I saw it. I saw it.
Right here.
Oh my God.
It is the worst.
Oh,
I remember we watched that live and we were just
the
like...
only reason you brought your laptop.
No, I just brought that up randomly. No, I have a bunch of notes. Are you kidding me?
Well, you shut it, so I was just making sure.
Yeah, I need to open it back up.
For dramatic effect.
Gosh,
Oh my
anyhow.
God.
I love that moment. TV
I
history.
can't remember the first time. I don't know why we brought it up the first time. Maybe we were just talking about that show as a whole because Connie Britton's in it too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's kind of a mess of a show.
I really wish that there was like a green screen behind the scenes moment. Like, oh my God, to play that guy.
Do you think they just got to the point with it? I imagine it being like, we just can't get any better and we have to turn this in.
I don't know. Oh
Anyhow.
my God, so stupid. Okay.
So Permit's desk, they're done with that.
Do you have anything else before we move on?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I guess before we, quote, move on, Andy is explaining to Ron why he's doing what he's doing because Ron is like, what are you doing? And Ron helps him. And Andy is so sad. This line of, it's all I got, man. Oh, my God. Pulling at my heartstrings.
Come on, April. It's kind of shitty.
So, not only... I think it's interesting because he says that he's helping because he doesn't want to lose April because he'll never find a worse assistant, which I think is true. But also I think he doesn't want to lose April because he's becoming like the workplace proximity associate with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So that's the end of that. But we're going back to the studio. Do you have anything before that?
Nope.
Okay. So back at the studio, they ask Ben to get on mic because in the meantime of Leslie and Tom talking, Ben's been like leaning against... in the background, leaning against the wall. And they ask him to get on mic and tell the whole story of his mayor/terrible past. And he gets all awkward and weird. And it's so terrible. They're just like ragging on him.
I know.
And he just cannot handle it. He's like a broken robot, I feel.
I know. It's like so
when
triggering.
You get
for
out
him.
there and...
It's just like, he just freezes up. And it's like not even that bad or funny. Like, when you think about it.
I know. You mean like his story? His
Yeah.
backstory? Yeah, I know. And it really is triggering to him. Also, I don't know. Maybe I was like imagining this, but I kind of felt like there was some sound design that went into this. Did you hear like his like K's and plosives were a little bit more pronounced?
Oh yeah,
because he
it's
was on
like
mic
he definitely
and
got up like a. Yeah.
I thought it was really good. Oh my god! Speaking of sound design, I'm sorry, this is so off topic. But I on the flight back from Maddie's wedding watched Aquaman, and I was so into it.
Really?
Did you watch it?
I watched a bit of it and remember
You
not.
hated it?
Well, I don't remember
into
if it was a long time ago. That movie's kind of old, right?
It is old. I'm
I
very
don't-
behind
I
on
don't-
everything.
I don't know if I got through it.
Well,
but-
they did great sound design is like why I got into this topic, because underneath the water, everybody has this kind of like blah, 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 blah kind of
interesting.
moment going on. And it's so subtle. It's really good.
But it's good.
I liked it. Nicole Kidman's in it.
Oh, that's right.
I will say Aquaman's dad is kind of like a weird actor, but other than that, I liked it. Amber Heard is in it too, so quite problematic. I had no idea she was in it until I Googled the cast. I liked her. A lot of people didn't, but I liked her. So
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
know.
Anyway,
I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
I liked it. I love Jason Momoa though. He's perfect in every
very
way.
good.
And what's his ass? Christine, can it be Christine? Is in it. The one from Phantom. You know,
Like
the one
the
that's in the
main
box.
actor?
Not what's his ass?
The one
Gerard
in
Butler.
The box.
The one that's in the box.
Oh, the
and-
guy that plays the boy?
Yeah,
The love interest?
yeah, the blonde
The
one.
blonde? I don't know his name.
I don't either, but that's his little
Can
moment.
can it be Christine?
Yeah, that one.
Bravo! Long ago. Okay.
Keep going.
It was so long ago. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't remember that.
Yes, that guy's in it. Hilarious. I almost wore my Phantom shirt. How perfect would that have been? Anyway,
You hear
okay.
it closed on Broadway?
No.
Like, or maybe it is closing, but yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen
Crazy.
closed as well. So sad. Ugh, great theater. All right, back to Parks and Rec. Leslie tries to save it by saying there's going to be ponies at the festival, which is hilarious. Also, someone calls from Eagleton and says, hey, just douching over here in Eagleton. Gross.
Okay, so I learned this, that
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'm getting this right. Yes, so China Joe, that's him calling in. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's either him or Alan Yang. I was listening to that podcast and they were talking
Parks
about
and
this.
Recollection?
Yeah, and they were talking about this, and it's
Okay.
because they had him on. Maybe he's just involved with their podcast. But yeah,
Mm.
it's him calling on doing a southern accent. They said it was a southern accent. It didn't really sound southern.
No, it did not sound Southern at all.
But yeah, that's him calling in.
Okay, interesting. I was wondering. I tried to figure out who all was calling, like, when we get to Joan's studio
I'm
as
pretty
well.
sure it's.
Yeah,
it's-
probably a mixture, huh?
So he had something to do with the show, I think.
Danny Cho? I don't think he did. I'm gonna look him up. IMDb. Okay.
No, maybe it was. Maybe he was just acting in it, but he also called in.
Yeah, because
I'll look that back up. And
He doesn't write or produce on the show. You know what I
okay,
mean?
it must have been.
But
yeah.
he plays China Joe in 2 episodes. This one and then Anne's Decision.
Gotcha.
When they go back in there, and Leslie's like, telling everybody that
Yeah.
she wants to have a sperm donor. But like, it doesn't. I would hope that they would. Or I would have wanted them to like post on his IMDb that he also played like anonymous voice or whatever.
Yeah.
But they
Well, it
didn't.
was either him or Alan Yang because they were talking about it,
Okay,
and
I'll come back to that.
yeah,
I'll listen to that. I know that that's one thing I didn't do for this one because I was like, whatever.
it was
But I'll
a
do that.
decent episode. I mean, I had a Anyhow,
Anyhow. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, he hasn't talked about it in 17 years. That seems crazy to me.
I know
Ben
yeah.
hasn't-
I wonder how they found it too. They said they're
Alta Vista.
Alta Vista. What is Alta Vista?
I think it's like an Ask Jeeves situation.
Oh.
Is that real though? Is that like an actual yeah. Oh, it was Yahoo. It's a web search engine established in 95. It became one of the most used early search engines but lost ground to Google, and it was purchased by Yahoo in 2003. So,
I don't remember it. Like,
Yahoo, I forgot about Yahoo too. Anyway, so that's bad. So Leslie says she'll do the newspaper and Ben and Tom can go on Purd. But I was like, shouldn't Leslie go on Purd and Ben and Tom can be on the newspaper? Because at least you can't see them in the newspaper and Tom can like schmoosh on them all
but I
the tweet.
thought they were. But they go on Joan. Oh no, she.
Well, that's
does Joan.
after.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know what I
I
mean?
think they're just saying Purd's like such a
Yeah.
softball, but like
softball. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's how she says. But I was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then this is when the douche comes in and asks Ben if he likes Pawnee, and Ben like can't even talk to him normally, like
Well,
off mic.
there's trucks. And
Good
cars
talk,
and-
Icetown.
So funny.
Oh my God. All right. So now Chris and Anne are having dinner at Anne's house, eating the same basic ingredients as bird feed.
Yeah. Yeah. Agave and flaxseed. I was like, at least do lemon and olive oil. That sounds disgusting.
Some garlic or something. Oh my God. He's going to ask a question, and she thinks it's going to be a serious question, but her facial reaction's so good.
And then he rearranges her furniture.
Yeah. I want to redefine your bagua. I looked up what bagua was. It's actually really interesting.
Is it like feng shui?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a part of feng shui. I would really be interested in this. Also, before we get there too, I love her talking head of like, am I not being obvious enough? I feel like I'm being obvious. I think she's being obvious
being
too.
very obvious.
Like,
Chris
I'm not
is just,
attached
I don't
to
know
literally anything in this house.
I know.
Or the house itself.
Is Chris just like deflecting it? Like is he just like not seeing it? I don't know.
Maybe it's a mixture of both. Because when she finally does bring it up, he's like, oh, yeah, we should talk about it.
Yeah.
But he's like,
duh. Like,
dumbass.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so Bagua is an energy map in feng shui, and it's basically a grid, and it shows where you should place things in your house for optimum energy and prosperity. So it has a lot to do with where you place things geographically too, like in the north, south, east, west parts of your home.
I'm into that stuff.
Me too. It definitely comes from Asian culture.
Yeah.
My biffle, BFF for life, in California, not that I need to explain what biffle means, but anyway, in LA, shout out to Cassidy. I remember her saying this because she's Vietnamese and she has a lot of her plants in the east side of her house, and she said that's what like you do if you want to bring like wealth and like money and growth into your home. And I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. So I definitely would do that. I can't have plants in my house because my cats eat them, but I could do some other green thing or fake plants or I don't know. I haven't tried the hanging plants. I wonder if that would work. Or if they'd climb up and eat them. But anyway, it's a grid, and I'll post it in our stories so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I thought that was really interesting.
Where are we?
Okay, so now we're at where Leslie's with Shauna Malway Tweep. Do you have
right.
anything before that or after that
no.
or on that?
No.
Okay. She literally has a recorder in her hand saying all the like Leslie has the recorder in her hand saying all the headlines and pull quotes. They'll put the fun in funnel cake.
Yeah.
I actually really like that one.
It's a good one. It's a great headline.
But all Shauna wants to talk about is Ben.
I know.
It's so frustrating. And then she says, come on, Leslie. The douche blew the story wide open. Did he?
Is that like...
Isn't it old news?
Yeah.
I do understand from like, I guess, like a political standpoint, I suppose, where you could be like, when he bankrupted all the cities and now he's here. So like people would definitely freak out about that.
Yeah.
But that's not really what we're talking about, I feel. That was only like one person. But Leslie really covers for him and says like all the right details. And then she says he's easy on the eyes too.
I know. I'm like, come on, Leslie.
She went too far.
We're friends that
Strictly
benefit from each other. We're professionals, I mean.
Colleagues with benefits.
And then I love when she's like, as always, everything is off the record. This is so good.
Oh, it's so amazing. Okay, so meanwhile, Ron and Andy are still doing the April tasks. There's a thank you note for April's grandma, who we learn needs to be grandfather. He's a man. Gizmo.
And here's a mouse rat CD.
Oh my God. I thought that was so funny. Why is she writing him a thank you note for $5?
I know. And it's like 6 months late.
I guess that's nice, but
I love how Andy is just like, even in that deleted scene, he's just a shameless self-promoter. Mm-hmm. He's really good at that.
We should do that.
I know.
It's hard. But yeah, you're right. I also like that he says, so do you want me to make those changes or are we good?
We could do this. Yeah, we good.
Oh my God. So
Gizmo.
Then, Gizmo. So then Tom and Ben are getting a new suit at the mall. And Tom is actually driving in this scene, in case anyone was interested. Kind of like how they did in The Office, where someone was sitting in the back, like as a camera person, and then they had a walkie-talkie in there telling them like where to go and everything. There was a blooper, though, that after they finished the scene, they had to do it all over because the person on the walkie said they went in the wrong entrance and the wrong like parking spot, which was hilarious to me.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Hi, Sweeney. You're a baby. Do you know you're a baby?
My little puppy Hudson is joining.
Okay, I'm gonna play this this blooper.
We're going to a mall. We're getting you a new suit. I've let this go on long enough.
I like this suit.
You shouldn't. I've seen 4-year-olds with
All right,
this stuff.
hold there, guys, please. We're gonna back up so you can back up. Come out of the space. We came in the wrong entrance and down the wrong row. Other than that,
Wait, no.
April.
I just love hearing him laugh
That's
as
funny.
like a normal person.
I know.
And I just love hearing all the bloopers, even though it wasn't really a blooper, which I have a really funny blooper later. But anyway, okay. So the line "Brooks Brothers doesn't make garbage" is really funny to me. I feel. And then April has a photography class assignment, and he's like taking all the pictures of sad things.
Yeah. Ron's such an artist.
He is such an artist. Sad floor, sad dart thing, sad desk. Donna tries to get on the action and adds foot massage to April's list. And then Jerry gets in on it. So gross.
So gross.
There is also a blooper here. And it's, I think I actually videoed it instead of, because it's like a visual thing, which I'll post it on the,
Ugh.
I know, it's kind of nasty. Maybe I didn't record it. But like, oh shit. It's
Foot
so funny.
massages. Yeah.
It's like, he puts his feet up on the table. Is it this one maybe?
Jerry can be gross in that.
He
The milk
is,
scene. Remember the.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Hold on.
Settle down, Jerry. I'm horrified.
Isn't that so weird? He's like, I don't know how to describe it on an audio medium. Like,
Yeah,
he's
you'll
like,
just have to post it.
yeah, with his fingers, drumming his fingers, but with his
That's
feet.
kind of like, I don't know if I could do that. That's pretty
Dexterous, is that the word?
dextrological.
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 Anyways, we're really good. And then, like, did you hear him say, "Get that, get that"?
He's like, doesn't he say daddy?
No, she says daddy. They're both being nasty. Oh my god.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay, anyway. So now we're in with Purd. And like Maddie said, I'm going to bring up a few things that we discussed when Purd was on the show, our show. Hello. He still has that mug. He brought that mug on the podcast he had it on his desk, the yellow one with his face on it. I thought that was really funny. And Tom's doing a great job of explaining the Harvest Festival. Sweetums is making a plus-size roller coaster, so that's really nice and inclusive for everyone.
This wide to ride. And then they cut it. Ugh.
What'd they cut?
Don't they? Oh, there's one scene where they're like, we're going to have to cut the roller coaster. Oh, they pulled out sponsors.
Oh, yeah, they pulled out sponsorship because of Ben being stupid.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so back at the office, we're basically seeing the bloopers of, like, what happened on the Purge show. Look, who hasn't had gay thoughts? Who? I love when he says he should call Cindy Eckert, and then he's like, no, I shouldn't, and I'm not going to, and I'm proud of myself for that.
And he spends 5 minutes explaining how he felt her up for the first time. I was like, I'd love to hear those 5 minutes.
I would too. So back at that Purd, back in that Purd episode when we interviewed him, he did say that Adam Scott was like super intense, and he would do push-ups like off camera,
just to pump himself up.
Yeah, to pump himself up and like get really into it and really intense. And Purd was like, what? Jay Jackson, the actor, was like, oh my gosh, like, wow. But yeah, he would, like, in between scenes, he would, like, go do push-ups and jumping jacks, like, get himself really, like, heart rate up and anxious, I think. You know what I mean? Which, it paid off. And also, you could see he was sweaty.
I know, he's, like, looks crazy. He
does look really great. And then Ron takes a pic of Ben as sadness for April's project. And then now we have, okay. I'm going to play this Purd thing really fast before. It's so funny. This is like, oh my God, it's golden. Leslie is hilarious.
Well, I'm having dinner with Purd Hapley, so hopefully that'll be some damage control. Tom, what do we got?
Spawny said they'd give me...
I gotta give a fucking blowjob to Purd Hapley. Whatever it takes. One of us has to blow Purd Hapley, and I don't want it to be me. Jerry.
They just like kept going on and like doing takes, and every time they did a take, she says something about blowing Purd.
Oh my God.
And then Jerry raises his hand. Oh my God. It's the most hilarious gag reel moment ever. Ooh, good one. Oh, Lord.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so good.
So now Andy's picking up Natalie. Do you have anything before or after?
No, but I have stuff on this.
Okay, say it.
Okay, so no, explain the scene. And
Okay,
then,
so in a really seriously looking serial killer van, Andy is picking up Natalie, April's sister, which is on her list, and he's also playing Mouse Rat.
Mouse Rat. He's
Rat,
playing the pit, right?
which is hilarious. Like as he comes up, and she finds out that he's into April, and so she plays a joke with the security guard saying like, "I don't know this dude." Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
You have did you find out anything about this place where they're at?
No.
Oh my god, it's so funny. This
Oh my
is a
god,
good
tell me
little
everything.
Okay, so this is in front of Walter Reed Middle School.
Okay.
Okay. And
In LA.
in LA. And it's funny because when this was like a big news story when John McCain was announcing his presidential candidacy. He was for the Republican, whatever the shit, and then he was announcing it, and behind him they projected a visual of this middle school because somebody fucked up and they thought they were going to post Walter Reed Medical Center, like the wounded veterans thing, but they posted this instead. And it's similar to the, when the Giuliani, the Trump thing with the Four Seasons, where they booked a force, they said
and they thought it was a Four Seasons, but it was really construction Four
it
Seasons.
was a landscape company,
fuck.
and they just went with it. But yeah, it's like, what a mess up. And yeah, that's this place.
Wait, what is it called? Walter Reed
Middle School. Yeah.
I feel like
Look
they
up
used
that
this.
and John McCain.
Okay, well, I feel like they used. Oh yeah, I've seen this. This is a really beautiful middle school.
It really is. Also, she is not in middle school.
No, not at all. So they were just using it as a school. Okay.
But yeah, it was one of those things, and just like the Four Seasons thing, where I remember like they were asked about it, and they were just like, "Oh no, that was intentional," and they're like, "You didn't mean the Walter Reed Medical Center because like you were a veteran and wounded and captured." No, we meant to do the middle school.
Oh
really?
My god!
And it's just the basic aspect. I mean, it's not.
I wonder
like,
if he had like a speech or something that was talking about veterans or something like that, and then they posted this.
That was it.
Yeah, September 5th, 2008 was when most of these articles are released. McCain's speech carried wrong Walter Reed image. Oh no, he's like in front of a big, huge projection of.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. McCain uses Walter Reed Middle School, not Army Hospital. Oh, that sucks, dude. Oh, God. How'd you find that? Did you just Google it? Like where this was?
No, I remember that story, and then they. Oh no, it was on the Parks and Recollection. They talked about it because Alan Yang went to this middle school.
Oh wow!
Too.
Okay, yeah, he is from California.
But I remember that story happening. It was kind of just like a funny, like, oh, man,
just
somebody
fuck
got
up.
fired. Like, you know.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Okay, great backstory. Love that.
There you
Good
go.
BTS. All right, so now businesses, this is where you were talking about. Businesses are wanting to now pull their sponsorships. So Leslie's like, we just have to focus. We still have Pawnee Today, which is Joan's show. Why do they even bring Ben to the show?
I know.
I mean, it all works out, but like at this point, you would want to like tell him to go home. You know? And then this is where also they flashback, or not flashback, but where they like cut back to Natalie bringing a security guard from the school, and Andy's so oblivious. Like the security guard's like, "Are you trying to lure this girl into your van?" He's like, "Yes,
not my van.
I stole it." He just keeps going down the rabbit hole. His license expired.
Funny.
This guard's name is Kurt Havlick. I couldn't find his information anywhere, and also like Parks was the only thing on his IMDb, so I really don't know what he's doing. But he did a great job. That was fun. Natalie's taking pictures, which is super cute and funny. And then at Joan's studio, we see where Tom is being super sleazy with Joan, as usual. This is the Sting, or no, not Sting, Seal. He's like, I confused you with Heidi Klum again. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah.
And is she still married at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that when she was like, I stole my gym teacher's husband, do you think it's the person she's married to still?
I don't know.
I kind of don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Because I thought she was married to like someone like from a different country or something.
I don't remember.
Like a Frenchman. Maybe I'm making that up. But the way she plays that line is so good. She like can't get through it.
Like gym teacher. It's almost like she didn't have any intention to say that.
No.
And it just like...
Because she's clearly pissed off that Leslie's like taking control and like, yeah,
I
call
know.
her. Come on out. You know what I mean?
This is like the beginning of the spiral of Joan.
Yeah.
Like it just gets...
Worse and worse.
As her personal life goes into turmoil, she just like becomes a raging alcoholic.
Oh my God. Mo Collins, No Notes. That is the name of the actress that plays plays Joan. So perfect. Let's see. Oh yeah, I want to know who these voices are on the phone. I wonder if one of them was China Joe.
Yeah, I don't know.
If he like repurposed his voice. I don't know. But anyway, so then we're back at the Parks Department, and Ron tells April to stop dragging Andy along if she doesn't plan on keeping him, which is that fish metaphor.
I said I don't fish.
Especially if he's a nice fish with a big, lovable fish heart.
Heart.
It's so cute. That's Princess.
Should be a t-shirt.
I know. That might be my favorite line. I think it is. Yeah, I also, like, on a side note, I do just really love this scene because last episode in Ron's intervention, when he's with Ron and Tammy, you saw, like, the relationship between every cast member and him, and now you're kind of seeing the opposite of, like, how he reacts to each of his...
Yeah, he's becoming very paternal to them, the two of them, and as it continues in the show. But yeah, this is kind of the first little...
He's showing he cares a little bit more,
Yeah.
which I think is really precious. Because right now, anyway, I feel like he's putting aside the fact that he might lose April. You know what I mean? It's not even really about that, you know?
Yeah, no, this is like for her own good.
Yeah. So, anyway, she gets the pic of Andy being arrested and has this cute little smile on her face, which I think is really precious and, you know, cute. Did anyone... Oh, I meant to record this. I wonder... I'll find it later. Did you notice how aggressive her ringtone was?
No, I don't remember what
I
it
feel
is.
like it was probably... I'm going to play it. I mean, we might have to wait for a little bit, but it was like one of those old, like, 2009, obviously, ones, early 2000s, where it was like... It was, like, so intense. And I was like, what are you doing? Hang on. I want to play it for you. It might take
Ringtones
longer.
aren't a thing anymore, really.
No, because everyone, like... Oh, well, I do.
They're just the Apple one.
Whatchamacallit? I keep mine on vibrate.
Yeah. I know, but remember when it was like a song or like...
Yeah, or like the playback tones.
Yeah.
Like people would hear
Or like
it.
the little piano one, remember that? It was like a little jazz riff.
I remember that. I should pay for the no ads.
Remember ringback tones? Or when like
The
somebody would
playback
call...
tones, right?
Or like when somebody would call you and it would be like a song.
Like you'd listen to a song as you're waiting
you still
for them to
have
answer.
that?
No.
Oh. Jake.
Did you say... Yeah.
For the longest
that's
time
what I was
had
gonna
Only
ask.
the Good Die Young. Shout out Jake. I don't know
For
if
like
that's a thing
800
anymore.
years. I don't know either. Okay, hang on. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
just like-
aggressive. Just
I
like...
was like, it was so quiet after he said his words of wisdom that I was like,
maybe
the
that's
fuck
like...
is that?
I wonder if that was intentional. It's just like... Is like, sounds like a game or something.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those old like Samsungs or whatever too. So, okay. So now we're back at Anne's house. Do you have anything before or after?
No.
What are you looking up? Something different? Not about parks?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back at Anne's house. Chris is making tea to cleanse the colon, so that's nice.
Kind of want to taste it.
I know. We just waft it.
Yeah.
Anne finally brings up this elephant in the room, you know, about moving and everything. Also, where is this patio? Like,
I don't know. Is this her house?
are they out on the
No,
porch?
are they at you know what? For some reason, I thought they were out to dinner.
No, they're totally at her house.
They're at her house?
Or maybe it's at his house?
I guess we don't really see his
Like, yeah,
house.
like where he stays in Pawnee. That's
we see
true.
his other place when they go to break up with him.
Yeah, I was like, maybe, because she does have a porch.
I would
but-
assume this is his house because he has his weird ass tea, unless he brought it.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I was just curious because I'd never seen it before. But we also haven't seen the back of her house except for when Andy's in the little baby pool with his casts
that's
on.
true.
So maybe she has something going on. Anyway, so then they invite what's his ass? Ben back onto the Joan show, like in front of the camera, okay? And he has this
Which is a total, like, yeah,
I don't
risky move.
understand.
Like, what's the...
She's like, yeah, let's bring him out here.
It hasn't worked 2 times today, but maybe the 3rd time. He pulls through, though.
He pulls through. Before he pulls through, he says, because I'm trusty. Trust me. I'm trustworthy. Oh, that was so funny. He's so good at playing this awkward, weird, like nervous dude. It's so good.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable. He's like physically keeling over, I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also love the call-in line when they're like, because this is like such a common thing. Like when they're like, well, why is this going to raise our taxes? And she's just like, this has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's just like
It's
everybody.
also not going to raise your taxes. Okay,
Yeah.
bye, thanks.
It's just like, that's with everything. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's what people's like first response to many things. And it's just like,
Yeah.
you know how much money we like spend on the military? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Yeah. Yep. And so then Ben finally gets his shit together and he speaks coherently, which is like seems so strange to me.
Something clicks, and
Was it
it's
just
like-
third time's the charm? I don't understand. But yeah,
Maybe
he
it's
said-
because they're speaking on like his current work, and that's like, okay, like I can
maybe.
get back into that. He's like, no, I fix things, like,
Yeah.
and
The
then
reason-
it like gives him enough confidence. Then he's like,
to
okay,
move on. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he talks about how he was 18, who doesn't do dumb stuff when they're 18, and then this is
I stole my gym teacher's husband.
great imitation. Perfect.
She's so good at that line.
So good. She like can't swallow or
Yeah.
something. It's perfect.
It's like a
the
burp.
stutter
She's
and
just like, I didn't think
Yeah.
that was gonna come out.
the throat clearing. Oh my god. I also really love his clapback, kind of, or maybe it's not a clapback, but kind of, when he's like, I went to those towns because they were
Yeah,
broke.
yeah.
Not because they are broke, and now they're not. So fucking get over it. Also,
Yeah.
who the hell uses Alta Vista anymore?
Yeah.
All right, and then finally someone asks a question about the Harvest Festival. Like, what did they say?
Can you bring dogs? Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really nice, and then we get back on track, which was really amazing. So that was a success, I feel. Which
Do you think
high
this,
risk, high reward?
when like Leslie kind of commandeers the show, have her and Joan have any negative interaction so far?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda.
they have, yeah.
The Christmas scandal too.
That's
no
true.
Molegate.
Yeah, because their little feud is kind of like, I feel like once you get to the Harvest Festival, they're in full. She's like, I'm tearing you down. No, like they kind of like, it's all like building like to that.
Yeah, she's very into the gotcha journalism.
Yeah.
Joan gotcha, don't it hurt ya? I bet you thought you'd get away.
So funny.
All right, and then now we are back at April and Andy, and April asks how it went, and he's like, yeah, super fun, great. Do you have a list for tomorrow? And that melts her heart a little because she's like, you want to do this all again? Oh my God. And then she kisses him. I really love this. I don't know what it is, and I haven't seen it done in real life before. I've only seen it on TV shows, which this is why it's ruined my, like, you know, perception of love or whatever. But I love when someone's like talking and ranting and then just
Yeah,
kiss
they
him
kiss
right in the
them.
middle of it. I think
It's
so
risky
cute.
because you could get bit. But it is beautiful.
High
It's a
risk, high
cute-
reward, yet
risk, high
again.
reward. It's a fun little, yeah.
It's a great moment
like,
for them.
aw.
And they're doing it on the shoe shine stand, which is precious and cute. And she's standing on top of it, so she's same height.
Beautiful.
So cute.
It's Notebook level.
I better be the only one
romance.
you kiss today. And what does he say? Like, I'm pretty positive you are.
Yeah.
You have to, like, think about it. Oh, my God. Okay, and so this is the tag of all the crazy things that Ben said on the Purge show. So, oh my God, it's so funny. What does he say? Oh yeah, but no, this is a birthmark purge.
Yeah.
He like takes off his shirt basically.
I know. He undresses, basically.
I do love that he can laugh about it now. I wonder if he could have laughed about it if he hadn't like had his moment of
Yeah, maybe this is
success on the Joan
cathartic.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turd
Although it's not
crappily.
yeah.
I love that. It's so good.
So
Who would
good.
have thought of that? I would not have thought of that. It's so funny. But also, I don't understand. Maybe Tom just like is tired of it or doesn't like really. I don't know. Like, why doesn't he try to stop Ben? Is it just because Ben's on a roll, I guess, and you can't really stop
He kind
him?
of gets a kick out of it.
No, but he's like rolling his eyes and he's like really tired about it.
Yeah. Maybe he can't stop, like, because it's live TV. I don't know.
Well, and I guess if you think about it, if he tried to, even Purd wasn't saying anything because he was just on a roll and he probably would have bit your
Maybe they're
fingers
just
off.
so shocked, too. They're just like, yeah.
This is what I'm saying. He should not have gone on the Purge show, but I guess now
Yeah.
we have that funny moment.
I wonder if any of that was improv.
I
Just
don't
like all those
think,
off
and
the
I'm just
cuff.
saying this as a researcher, But I don't think Adam Scott would have done that.
Oh, really?
Because he will say himself that he doesn't feel like he is on the improv level as everyone else, and just in general, he like was saying that, you know, when he was trying to improv things, he was like not sure if it was the right thing, so he'd get all in his head. I think most of that was probably scripted.
Well, shout out to the writers then, because some good,
Harris Whittles, I'm telling you. I bet Harris Whittles did the turd crapley thing. Or the big fish heart
Who
thing.
hasn't had gay thoughts? I love that one. That's
Me
such a
too.
good line. Like, wow, like you would love to hear what came before that for 30 seconds and after that for 30 seconds.
I know. What did bring that up?
What is he talking about?
Oh my god. Okay, well, do you have anything else on Media Blitz?
I don't.
Is that it?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, well,
Good
that was
episode.
Media Blitz. Yeah, that was a great episode. I feel like we're finally getting to the meat of the show as far as the Harvest Festival, because that's when shit really starts to go down.
Yeah, it's just like where they hit their stride and all the characters are fully formed and such a good story.
Yeah, so we've got 2 more episodes until Harvest Festival, which is crazy, and that's when we'll start to see how Tom Petty is all in this show, because
I know
they play American Girl at
They
the
do.
end of it. And that was one thing too, and again, I'm going to confirm with the camera operators if I can get in touch with them, but you know how they do that like crane shot at the end of Harvest Festival to show? Jeffrey Massa, the art director, which you guys should listen to that episode too, because it's so good and really interesting. He said that might have been the only time that they really did like a CGI like superimposed situation for that big of a shot. Like obviously they CGI like sign names and stuff like that, but they were like really went back and forth with it because it's supposed to be a documentary, and documentaries don't really do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or at least they didn't in 2009 or 10 or whatever. So I think like that big roller coaster and stuff like that was not real, I want to say.
I see it was all CGI. Have fun.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll confirm that, but just saying that's something to keep your eyes and ears open for when we get to that episode. But anyways, well, if you haven't rated or reviewed the show, please do that. We have an Instagram. You have to vote on your favorite lines. Oh, VIPP. I think Ben gets
Oh,
VIPP.
Ben. Yeah,
Or Joan.
Yeah,
I think Ben wins.
Ben is like, the start. This is like the first time you see Ben in like this different context, and then it's kind of like the start to their relationship. And this is a good Ben episode.
Yeah, totally.
Ben is the VIPP.
Okay, great. Did you have a favorite line?
The bird line.
Okay.
Is my favorite line.
Okay. Which one? The he can fly thing?
There's no time. He can fly. That or who hasn't had gay thoughts? Actually,
Okay.
I think that who hasn't had gay thoughts.
Maybe we'll do a little bit of both, and we'll like see who wins the first round.
And
then,
which one's yours? The fish heart?
The fish heart one,
It's
yeah.
just
Big lovable fish heart.
classic.
So cute.
So cute.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time for Indianapolis. Thank you, Sean, for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Thank you, Maddie, for sending in those amazing thoughts and summaries. And we can't wait until you're back in studio with us. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Little smartless moment.
Yeah. Goodbye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Hello.
This is how I look at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. So
I know. Same here.
you look fine. I'm going to turn you up just a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I can hear
thank
you.
you for being here. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'll just get right into it so I don't get too much of your time, and then we can chat if you have extra time. But
Sure.
what I really like to ask everybody, and I was noticing in my email, I accidentally wrote The Office because I was listening to the Office Ladies podcast, I think, when I was emailing you. But anyway, we ask all of our guests how you got your job on Parks and what the audition was like, and if you have any like details about what you remember from auditioning or getting contacted.
Sure. Well, I moved to Los Angeles in 2005, and they have
Okay.
things out there called casting director workshops. So basically what happens is you pay a small fee to meet a casting director in a classroom setting, and they're sort of known as pay to play, but technically you're taking a class, and they'll give you sides, which are parts of scripts, as you probably know, and they let you do cold readings, and they tell you a little bit about what they do and what they cast. In this particular instance, it was the casting director from Dorian Frankel who cast the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a workshop with her, not with Dorian, but with her assistant, whose name I cannot remember. I wish I should have gotten that ahead of time, but I just cannot remember right now. And then I did a cold read with her, and that was all there was to it. And then the workshop was over. And then about 2 or 3 days later, I got a call from my agent saying they want you to come in and read for Parks and Recreation.
Yay!
So they actually had me come in and read for 2 roles. They had me read for what was known as Justice of the Peace. Okay. And then they had me read for another part. I don't remember the name, but it was a guy who worked in the office. And it was actually a larger role. So I read for Justice of the Peace, and it was just a one line where I say, "You may now kiss the bride." And that was the scene the first time I appeared where Nick and Megan start going crazy in front of me, and then I get that look on my face.
I know, it's so wild.
Right. And we shot it very quickly. And then a couple of days later, I got a call from my agent saying, "You booked the role." So I was absolutely thrilled, of course. And then in 2013, I was actually planning to move back to my hometown of Greensboro, North Carolina. I'd been in LA for 8 years, and it was just time to move. I mean, without getting into detail, a lot of it was financial as well.
Sure.
Yeah. And literally while I was packing, my agent called me again and said, they want to see you. They want you again on Parks and Rec. They're bringing your character back. And I said, oh, well, guess what I'm doing right now? So, they said, well, they'd be willing to, they're going to shoot it in about 6 weeks. They're just giving you a long heads up, and they'd be willing to fly you back and, pay for, whatever, for you to be in town, because they really want to keep all the characters consistent.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. I drove cross country because I'd driven cross country before I went back home, and I waited to hear from them, and they sent me a script, and it was a larger role. And this time they gave me the name of Carl. I wasn't just Justice of the Peace. They gave me the name Carl. And then got my airline tickets, and I flew back out, and I stayed in LA for 4 or 5 days, and went and shot it, and got to see Nick Offerman again. And he remembered me from the first appearance, believe it or not.
Yay.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of wild how long in between that it was. And then, we always talk about that on the podcast, where they definitely bring back people to create, the small town energy and that community and everything, and making sure that everyone still works there. Because in a government job, most, especially like a Justice of the Peace, I feel, would have stayed in that job. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool that they brought you back and offered to pay for you and everything to, because I feel like they could have just as easily had someone else. And I'm so glad they brought you back.
Well, and what was great about the second time is that I got to meet Amy Poehler and Aubrey Plaza, because they were not.
Oh, sure.
And of course, Lucy Lawless was the guest star on that show, playing his new wife. And she was just as sweet as she could be. I mean, when you're working with a cast of people like this, you're not really sure what kind of a room you're going to walk into. And I was absolutely I was made to feel like a member of the family.
That's awesome.
They addressed me by my first name, which is rare, because most of the time you introduce yourself, because I've done work since then. And I've never had a bad experience, but I've had experiences where you kind of feel more anonymous than anything. And the Parks and Rec crew just made me feel like I was a member of the family, even though I was only back for a very brief period of time.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and I love that it's great that you got to meet everybody the second time, because I remember Amy Poehler is or her character Leslie is trying to make it a bigger deal than Ron wants it to be. But I really love that line of in the second one of I did a quickie wedding for you before, right?
Yes, that was my big line. Other than do you, Diane, take Ron?
Right.
But again, the fact that I had more than one line, I was just thrilled. And plus, I now use it on my demo reel.
Sure, of course, I would keep that on there forever, or as long as you wanted to.
Well, the great thing about the show is it's always going to be in syndication, and it's one of those shows like The Office and 30 Rock, which if you flip the channel around enough, you're going to catch an episode of it. I know for a while, I think Bravo was running them, or one of those other big channels.
Yeah, I feel like all of them, like TBS, things like that, will play reruns all the time.
Yeah. So I get a little $20 residual check every couple of months.
Yay. That's amazing. Well, going off this first one, because this is the first one that we reviewed was the was the one where you're marrying Ron and Tammy too, basically. And how was it to be in front of them, being so like inappropriate and everything? Because I did read that a lot of people, including like the regular cast that knows them, almost felt a little uncomfortable, like because they know them, but also just because they were being so outrageous. So how was it on set that day?
Well, I think when they walked up, the first thing Megan Mullally said to me was, we're married in real life. And I said, oh, yes. No. She kind of cleared the air a little bit. Not that I needed it, because I honestly wasn't sure. I remembered from the script that they sent me for that particular scene that they were going to do something crazy, but I wasn't really sure. And we did a number of takes. It wasn't just the one take that you see. They wanted me to close a Bible before I said the line, and I can't remember if I actually did that. I haven't seen it. It's kind of a blurry shot. They kind of shot it in a way almost like it's a flashback.
Yeah, it's like a montage flashback situation. Yes.
And interesting about that day, they shoot very quickly in television, or most shows like this, they shoot very quickly. And I could hear that there was a scene, I believe, before this where they were doing something in a jail cell.
Yes, they were both like making out in the jail, like in between their cells.
Right. Well, I could hear them in the next room shooting that scene. So they shot in order, at least that particular thing. I could hear them down there, and I could hear the door shutting, and I could hear them shooting the scene. And I was basically just sitting in the makeshift church, waiting for them to come up. My call time that day wasn't until 3:00 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Which is great.
Okay.
But
that's great to hear the location details.
Yeah, we shot it at CBS Radford, which is a very famous studio where they shot Seinfeld and a lot of other shows back in the 70s and 80s and all that. And it was in Studio City, California, which was only about 20 minutes from where I lived. Everything is pretty close in LA. So I just got in my car and drove down there. And but to get back to your question, it wasn't awkward for me at all watching them, sort of mock make out, because obviously their private time is their private time. But what they did in front of the camera, they knew what to do. And again, the whole thing was improvised anyway, for the most part.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. And I love that they were nice to you and like remembered you the second time and all of that kind of good stuff, because I've heard from so many people that Megan Mullally is just such a nice person. Obviously Nick Offerman is too, but when you're coming in, when she's not on all the time, and then she still has the wherewithal and the niceness or kindness, I guess, to say that she, remembered, but also just talked to you as a normal human. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And one other funny thing too is that if you remember that scene, Nick had the cornrows in his hair.
Yes.
And when I saw him for the second appearance, I reminded him. I said, Nick, I don't know if you remember me. My name is Craig. I was the justice of the peace when you had the cornrows in your head. And he went, "Oh yes, the cornrows." So I have a feeling that particularly, that process of getting those done was not a lot of fun for him. But he had a very favorable, fun memory of it anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yes. Oh my gosh. The cornrows and the little kimono thing
was
hilarious. Right. Well, was there anything else that you remember about being on set as far as like how long you were there and, all that kind of good stuff, or anything else about the cast or being near Crafty or anything like that?
Well, for the first episode, it wasn't very long. As I said, my call time was until 3:00, and I think I got out of there before it was like around 6. So I was there maybe 3 hours because they had to put me in makeup and. As I said, they were shooting the other scene and everything. We did multiple takes of the one that I was in. So I got out of there fairly quickly. The second scene, the one we did in 2013, took a little longer. I think my call time was like around noon or something, and I was there like 4 or 5. But it was great because I had a conversation with Lucy Lawless about some things even before we went on. She asked me where I was from. And I knew that she was.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and she was originally from New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was talking.
Because she was Zelda, right?
She was.
Legend of Zelda, that was her theme, right? Or Queen Warrior.
Yeah, she was in that. I remember asking her about. There was a band from New Zealand called Split Ends that I was a huge fan of back in the '80s, and I never thought I'd have a day where I'd be talking to Lucy Lawless about the band Split Ends. And she knew who they were. She said, "Oh yes, I remember them."
That's amazing.
So yeah,
oh my gosh.
That was great talking to her. And there was another lady in the scene, and she always played the secretary, the old disgruntled secretary.
Oh yeah, we love her. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but yes. Oh my gosh, how was she?
She was hilarious, and she had done like 25 episodes of that show. She'd been,
Yeah.
ever since season 1 or 2, they kept calling her back and calling her again. And she was a little similar to her character in real life, but she was a sweetheart. I mean, she was very easy to talk to. Yeah, very funny.
I think it's like Ethel maybe or something in the show. I don't
Right,
remember her real name, but yeah, and she like does all the court recording or whatever, and the stenography almost for the courts. That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
And of course, the scene that happened just before was a scene, I believe, of Leslie getting off an elevator. And of course, that's not a real elevator. They just had 2 people on either side pulling ropes so the door opened.
Right.
And then when Aubrey and I entered the scene, Aubrey wasn't sure of her cue, but I knew what it was because I'm a professional. And, I had she says, you're going to have to cue me because I have no idea when we go on. And I said, oh yeah. I said, I know when. I said, I remember the signs. I remember when to go on. So after we did the whole thing, she thanked me. She goes, thank you so much for cueing me. She goes, because I didn't know. But we did it multiple times, so she knew. Eventually, she picked it up and knew.
Right, yeah, I remember that episode because they had just got done cleaning like the river and they were all gross and nasty, and then they like turned around when he said he was getting married and going back up to the 4th floor or whatever.
Right.
Or what? No, maybe not the 4th floor. That's divorce filings, but whatever other floor. But that's so cool. That's really great. And so when you were marrying them, did they give you any sort of like wardrobe, or was that your own wardrobe, or how'd that work?
No, that was theirs. They told me just to wear regular street clothes until I got there because I think
Okay. I would imagine it's pretty normal. Just curious.
Yeah, it was just a typical suit they had. I mean, they had hundreds of them, and they just found something that fit me. One funny story I think you'll enjoy is that when we first did it, when I'm marrying them, you can hear Leslie going, "Oh, it's happening! Oh my God! Oh, I can't believe it's happening!" That wasn't rehearsed. That was not in the script. And he said, "Okay, we're going to go ahead and shoot this." And every time that the first time we did it, every time she interrupted me, I stopped because I wanted to react to it. So then I started up again, going to you, Ron, take Leslie. You go, it's happening, and I stopped again. And I almost ad-libbed a line. I almost said, "Miss Nope, would you please stop?" But I didn't do it. And then after we ran the whole scene, the director came over to me and said, "Okay, she's going to do that again, but just keep going. Just keep plowing right on through. That's just going to be something in the background that she's excited about." And
that's a fun, awesome tidbit.
Oh, yeah. And that let me know that they just kind of make up stuff on the spot with a show like this. And of course, as soon as it was over, I knew that I was going to have to fly back to Greensboro where I live. And I thought, I don't want to fly back. I want to be a part of this show. I want to be on it. Because it looks like they just had a blast doing it for the 7 years it was on the air.
Yeah, they sound like they all have such a great time, and they're all just laughing and coming up with like creative ways to make the show better. And yeah, pretty much every person we've talked to has said something about how either they improvised or they were in a scene where one of the main cast members improvised, or whatever. And so a lot of people have to either navigate like improvising with them, because a lot of like the townspeople for sure will have improvising scenes with Amy Poehler because they're going back and forth at like a town council or something.
Right.
So that's really fascinating that you were just, because every time I watch that, I definitely like hear the undertone of like you're just ignoring her, or not ignoring her, but you're just making sure that you're doing your job kind of thing. So that's really cool. Was there any other improv things that you remember, or was it just that for the most part?
Not for that particular one. No, I mean, I pretty much stuck to the script. That's one of the rules. When you're a day player, you stick to the script unless they say to you, you can go off script, or you can kind of throw a little thing in here. One other thing I did want to mention about the show is that there were so many wonderful day players on it. I mean, the show being on 7 years. I've got a colleague who was on it 12 times, and his name is Andy Forrest. And
we've interviewed him.
You have interviewed him.
Kyle.
Okay, I was going to say, if you haven't gotten in touch with him, you should, because he did a lot of appearances on the show.
Yeah, he works so closely with Chris Pratt.
Right.
We love Kyle.
Right. And Andy's done a lot of, he's done a lot of commercials and film and that kind of thing as well. When you're a day player, you feel like, you don't know what you're walking into. And that's why I was saying earlier that I was made to feel like a member of the family. They were very, very nice and welcoming, and they made me feel like, you're just not some guy who's just walking on the set. You're an actor. You're a professional actor who got cast in this, and we're going to treat you as such. And,
totally.
I really appreciated that. Because I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, when they were walking me down the hallway for the second appearance, especially, I knew I was going to be working with Amy and Aubrey, and I said, "Yeah, you gotta, up your game here because you're really going to be a part of this." And I was thrilled.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I've heard that about Amy Poehler too. The whole cast as a whole, but her for sure, like being at the lead of it. We've definitely heard that she like sets the tone and makes sure everyone feels comfortable and, just feeling loose and ready to create on set. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And I was just glad to be a part of it in some small way. It was sort of like 15 minutes, I guess you could say. I mean, I've done a few other things since then. I had a small role in Homeland. When I came back here, because they were shooting that season up in Richmond, Virginia. Okay. And so I had a small role in that, and I've done a few other things as well, but I'm always auditioning. It's a tough business, as you probably know, and I'm always auditioning, and there's a couple of new shows coming on this fall that I've read for. And,
cool.
So I'm hoping that at some point something will break through, and I've shot a few things where I've been cut out of too. I mean, that's another thing. You get cut out because they don't feel like it really fits in with the story or the timeline in the end, in the editing process. But, every time I book something, I'm just thrilled to be, accepted and that they know that they have enough trust in me and enough faith in me to say, yeah, Craig can do the job. Let's bring him in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's really nice that there's a lot of things shooting like on the southeast region, so that's really good. I mean, hopefully things keep picking up for you, and we'll definitely keep an eye on that for sure. I just I really love when you are reacting in front of Ron and Tammy, because it's just like I can't even imagine like them just improvising, making out, and like just basically simulating their sexual moments right in the public eye. And so I can't even imagine.
Well, one of the things I learned a long time ago is the camera sees everything. You don't have to show the camera anything. You just see it.
Right.
And had I shot this a few years ago, I may have started making faces or started showing people, oh, look what they're doing. But the fact is, you just stand there. You don't really have to do much of anything. In that particular scene, I just responded the way I might respond, which, you feel awkward and you just basically stare at them.
Right. And you didn't really know what they were going to do, right? You knew they were going to make out, but you didn't know like the extent of it, right?
No, I mean, not until we started doing it. We probably shot that 4 or 5 different ways. And each time I did, sometimes I would stare. A lot of times I would look down like I was too embarrassed to look at them. And the take they finally used. As a matter of fact, they had multiple cameras going at the same time.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
And it was all handheld, that particular scene. So the shot of me where they zoom in on me at the very end, which I was thrilled to see that they actually did, that was a camera that was on the other side of the room, which I probably wasn't even aware of. So,
okay.
because they do a lot of zooms on shows like that,
Totally.
Catch people in the most awkward moments.
Yes, absolutely. No, we've talked to one of the camera operators on there, and she said that they definitely created a relationship with certain cast members, but also like they're definitely trained to kind of look for the off-putting or what's I guess like not the majority of where your eye would go. So like zooming into the random parts or like the behind the scenes part, much like a documentary.
Sure, yeah.
So that's awesome. And do you and there's no pressure to answer this at all, but do you watch the show at all?
Oh yeah, I was a fan of the show before I was on it. Now, to be honest, I missed the first season. I was in LA when they first started shooting it, and because of my schedule and everything, it was just one of those shows I didn't have time to watch. But then when I started reading all the great reviews for it, and I was always a fan of Amy Poehler. I remember Amy as far back as when she played Conan O'Brien's little sister.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, crazy!
And so I said, well, season 2 is about to start. I'm going to start watching it. So I was a fan from season 2 on.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask that is because we usually ask every one of our guest members as kind of a wrap-up question, and I'm not pushing us off by any means. I would love to hear any more information.
Sure.
But my last question is, other than, your character, who would you resonate the most with or, like, think that you have the most in common with as a cast member on Parks? So, like, I really love Leslie's character. I feel like I resonate with her, and I have a lot in common with her. My co-host is very much an Anne, so do you have any person, and it can be a mixture of two if you want, that you feel that you resonate the most with?
Well, yeah, there is. Just in my own personal life, me sort of, just everything, it would probably be, and God, please let me get his name right, Jerry.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Poor
okay,
Jerry.
okay.
I mean, I love the actor. I just saw him on.
Jerry, Terry, Larry.
Yeah, yeah. The actor's name, I got it. His name
Jim O'Hare.
Jim O'Hare, yes. I just saw him on an episode of Better Call Saul. He was wonderful.
Okay.
He was wonderful.
He's been on quite a few things. He's been working.
Oh, yeah, he works a lot.
I follow him on Instagram.
But sometimes I feel like Jerry because a lot of my jokes will land flat with my friends. And they'll sometimes look at me like, yes, Craig, go ahead and make us laugh again, But,
that's so funny.
And also...
Jerry's a stud, though, in real life. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not in his, like, friendships or office friendships, but in actual home life, he's doing
yeah. I mean, he's a wonderful man. And obviously, I did not get to meet him. He was not on the set that day.
Well, I mean, Jerry on the show, like, he has a really hot wife.
That's
and
right.
3 beautiful daughters. And
Wasn't it Christy Brinkley?
Yes, exactly.
Now, I will say, and I have to confess, I've had a crush on Rashida Jones for many, many years.
Oh my gosh, who
even
hasn't?
Before Parks and Recreation. And so I was disappointed she wasn't there that day. But who knows? Maybe down the road I'll book something and she'll be there and I'll say, I missed you on set, but here we are.
I know. That would have been fun if her and Chris had gotten married and you married them or something.
Well, you never know.
They weren't there
Maybe
yet.
they'll have a reunion movie at some point down the road.
Yes, that would be amazing. Well, was there anything else that you have in your mind about the set or anything? Any stories? I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I took a few pictures. I had an old camera. I didn't have a smartphone at that time, but I did take a few pictures. I'd be happy to email you. It's just
oh my gosh, please
yeah,
do.
they're just pictures
I'd
of
love
the
to see
set.
those.
You kind of see the outskirts of the set, I wish I'd gotten some photos of myself with the cast together, but I figured, I'm there to do a job. I'm not there to. And I'm sure they would have been more than happy to do so.
Sure.
But, I went in to do a job and I just kind of wanted to, as I always say, read the room when you walk in. And I just wanted to kind of, see what kind of room I was walking into. And honestly, by the time it was over, I was so thrilled with everything that had happened. I just kind of forgot to say, hey, can we get a quick picture together?
Yeah, no worries. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that you got some other pictures regardless. I know. I bet everything moves so fast too, and you're just like trying to do your job and be professional. So that makes total sense. But yeah, I'd love to see the photos that you took.
Yeah, I'll definitely email them to you.
Okay, cool. Well, I really appreciate you spending your Sunday with me. That was so fun. And I'll definitely send you a link to the podcast when it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
It'll probably be in a couple weeks. But yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. We love hearing about any behind the scenes stuff. And it's just amazing to hear that the cast is so wonderful. And everyone that we have talked to as far as the day players or people like recurring characters that aren't like actual series regulars, but that come back are just so kind. So you are definitely a part of that, and we appreciate you so much.
Well, Holly, thank you so much. I really appreciate you noticing my character enough to want me to be a part of this because in some small way I contributed to the show, and as I said, it was a lot of fun to do.
Absolutely. So fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And break legs on all of your auditions. We'll be looking out for you.
Thanks, Holly. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.